Session is being recorded. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we will start explaining chapter 1 and the mobile and wireless networks, which is about introduction to mobile and wireless networks. This course is very beautiful and interesting. So we will start by chapter 1. I will give you introduction about mobile and wireless networks. You can see here, this is the layout of our lecture today. We will start by introduction, then followed by broadband technology, transmission medium, communication networks, importance of wireless technologies, and what are the limitations, in addition to a practical session, a beautiful practical session related to mobile and wireless networks. We will implement a scenario using a packet tracer software. So first of all, we will look we will have an overview of over the network. What is the main benefit of the network? What is the main benefit of the network? As you know, the main benefit of the network is to share and exchange information. Whether with your friends, with your colleagues at work, students. So, and what can you share? What type of information you can share? You can share like voice, text, video, image, etc. And this applies to many applications like the e-commerce, التجارة الإلكترونية, التعليم الإلكتروني, e-learning, e-government, online gaming, WhatsApp call, video call, social media, in addition to emails, dealing with employees at work, shared folders. All these are applications on a network. And the network, when you hear the word network, it's not necessary to be a millions of PCs. No, all two PCs connected together with a cable are considered a network. So the main benefit of the network is to share and exchange information. This is the main benefit. So let us have an overview of the importance of mobile wireless networks. You can see here 27.1 billion 10 power 9 network devices in 2021. 65% of them are wireless. So we have 27.1 billion network devices in 2021 as per the statistics. 65% of these devices are wireless and mobile devices. So, and 4 billion out of these are mobile phones. So you can see here the percentage 65 is very important for us because this shows the importance of wireless communication. When we say 65% of the network devices are wireless, this shows the importance of mobile and wireless networks and having wireless network at work. Not only we will have wired network is good, okay, faster, more secure, more reliable, but there is an advantage for wireless networks is that it is mobile. This advantage of wireless networks affected the statistics because 65% of the traffic is wireless. This shows the importance of wireless networks and mobility, in addition to other advantages which we will mention in this course. So you can see here in the graph, this graph is between 2000 and 2010, so somehow old, but you can see that mobile cellular phone subscriptions are increasing, and it is the highest compared to internet users and fixed telephones. Internet users are increasing for sure in 2025. Now we have more internet users and more mobile phone users, but the fixed telephone line was slightly decreasing. So those people subscribing in telephone lines, they are no longer using it, or the new generations, they are not using it. The usage is becoming low compared to before. And in 2025, you can see the curve is near zero. A limited amount of users are using the PSTN or traditional telephone lines. And you can see the mobile broadband devices, both wired and mobile broadband devices are increasing. So what is the importance of mobile wireless networks? This is a screenshot showing the 6G market size, the 6th generation wireless system market size. It is expected based on the compound annual growth rate نسبة النمو إنه الماركت سايز تبع 6G will increase by 31.48% from 2024 to 2029. And the major players in this evolution are the telecom operators like Ericsson, operators and vendors like Ericsson, Huawei, Cisco, etc. So you can see the 6G market as per the compound annual growth rate, it is expected to increase from 31 to increase by 31.48% between the years 2024 and 2029. And the largest market is the North America. So let us start by our course. We made an introduction, a beautiful introduction. Now we'll start. What is wireless communication? What is wireless communication? Wireless communication, it is the transfer of information between two or more points that are not connected by an electrical conductor. You know, the transfer of information between two or more points up to here, it is communication. The transfer of information or data between two or more points up to this point, it is communication. When we say that are not connected by an electrical conductor, here we are speaking about wireless communication. So this definition is too much important to say to transfer information between two or more points without the need of electrical conductor. This is very important. This is wireless communication. Like you can see here in this figure, the mobile is connected to the base station, and there is a call established between the mobile station and base station. So what is the main advantage of wireless networks? As I have explained before, it is mobility. You know, wired connection is good, more stable, more reliable, more secure. But if you need to move, if you need to roam, if you need to work mobile, you need to connect to wireless. If you are using mobile phone, laptop, iPad, it's better for you to connect wireless. So the main advantage of wireless communication is mobility. This is a figure comparing wired and wireless networks. You can see here in wired networks, usually when user 1 communicates with user 2, the communication goes through the switch. Both are connected to the same switch, same VLAN, same local area network, same subnet. So when user 1 communicates to user 2, the traffic will go through the switch. This is for wired. For wireless, both users will be connected to the base station. So user 1 will be connected to the base station wireless, and user 2 will connect to the base station wireless, and the communication between them is through the base station. So when mobile user 1 communicates with mobile user 2, the transmission is conducted via the base station. And you can see here there is intercepting wall for mobile user 1, which makes the signal somehow weaker because the wall will affect the signal, especially if this wall is concrete. This will affect the signal and result in decreasing the signal strength for mobile user 1. بتعرفوا انتم نحن بنقيس signal strength بالدي بي الديسيبل. هذا الحد بينقص من الديسيبل تاعت السيجنال، فبتوصل السيجنال عند الموبايل يوزر 1 اضعف من الموبايل يوزر 2 يلي هو عنده لاين اوف سايت connection بينه وبين البيس ستيشن. So in this slide we are focusing about not only the difference or comparison between wired and wireless. Here we need to highlight the wireless network requirements. What is the requirement? The first requirement that we will mention in this lecture is the link capacity. Capacity which depends on the power and the frequency. The capacity, it is measured in bits per second. السعة. كم بت عم ببعت بالثانية. How many bits are I am transmitting per second. يعني the amount of data being transmitted within a given amount of time. كم بت عم ببعت بالثانية. So this is the capacity. It's measured in bits per second. So, for example, you get an internet line from your ISP or Ooredoo or Vodafone, and you ask about what is the speed, how many bits I'm getting per second. It is 50 or 100 megabits per second. It depends. It depends on your need. It depends on the how many clients are there at home, how many end users, how many people are using this network. So this is the capacity. You can increase the capacity based on your need. So, what is the relation of link capacity with wireless issues? Who can tell me what is the relation between these two? Here, once here, if the capacity is not enough for the users, if the capacity is not enough, users will start facing wireless issues because the speed is not enough to accommodate all the users. The capacity is not enough to accommodate all the users. Then the users will start facing delays, signal loss, etc. Especially if there is one sitting at home and doing downloads or watching videos. And this will affect the capacity and it will affect the speed for others. So in this case, you need to increase the capacity at work or at home or use the quality of service. So the first requirement is link capacity. The second requirement is security. You know, not anyone, it is not permissible for anyone to connect to your network and access without your permission. If you are at work or you are at home, it's not acceptable that anyone can connect and take wireless without your permission. He will utilize your capacity and he can hack your network easily. So here, security is very important, especially in wireless communication. In wired, it is important, and it is more important in wireless. So if anyone needs to connect to the network, he needs to authenticate. Authenticate by what? By using username and password. This username and password will be saved. If you are at work, it will be saved on server or an Active Directory, etc. So anyone who needs to connect to wireless using his personal laptop or mobile, he needs to authenticate using his username and password. If he's authenticated, تم التوثيق في يشبك على الشبكة عندنا. If he's not authenticated, he cannot connect. You can see here in this figure, there is eavesdropper. Eavesdropper is trying to intercept the signal between the mobile user and the base station. عم بيتنصت على الاتصال بين الموباil والwireless base station وعم بحاول ياخذ معلومات. So there is signal leakage. في تسرب من الإشارة اللي رايحة من الموبايل للبيس ستيشن عم تيجي عند إيف عم بيتنصت على المكالمة. فالsecurity is very important. This is second requirement. So first is link capacity, second is security. طب لما أنا أعمل authentication للusers, وين اليوزر نيم والباسورد بيكونوا متخزنين؟ Where are these credentials stored؟ لما أقول credentials أنا بعني فيها username and password. Where are these credentials stored? In a server, for example, Active Directory server. So anyone he needs to access our network, he needs to log in using his ID credentials, his Active Directory username and password. In this case, if the dropper is, when he tries to connect, he will not be able to connect to our wireless network because he doesn't have a valid username and password. So he cannot easily hack our network. There is security. The second requirement is mobility and management. And here comes the important role of the wireless controller. You know, when you are connected to the base stations, if we are speaking outdoor, indoor, let us say you are connected to the access point in this class, and your friend is connected to another access point. Is there a connection between the access points? Yes, but it is not direct. Both access points are connected to switch. Both access points, as we will see in next slides, are connected to switch, and this switch is connected to a wireless controller. So what is the role of this wireless controller? Is to control the wireless access points. Even outdoor, there is base station controller to control the base station. So this controller, it will manage the roaming problems. It will manage the interference problems for this access points not to interfere each others. and which channels they use, at which frequency they operate. You know, in wireless we have 2.4 and 5 and 6 gigahertz frequencies. This is important for you على الهامش، يعني لو طلعنا شوي خارج سياق هيدا سلايد. بالوايرلس كوميونيكيشن في عندك 3 frequencies هلا حيمرقوا معنا اكثر: 2.4 جيجا هرتز و5 جيجا هرتز و6 جيجا هرتز. اوكي، سو كل ما تعلى الفريكونسي as the frequency increase the speed increase but the coverage will be less. فال 5 جيجا هرتز عندها سبيد اعلى من ال 2.4 جيجا هرتز. اذا انت بالبيت عم تشتغل عندك 2.4 و5 جيجا هرتز، اذا ثابت مكانك حد الراوتر لا استخدم 5 جيجا هرتز اسرع لك. اما اذا انت عم تعمل رومينج بالبيت وعم تتجول بالبيت وعم تبعد عن الاكسس بوينت استخدم ال 2.4 جيجا هرتز لانه الكفرج تبعه اعلى. وفيك تخليها اوتوماتيك، يعني الاوتوماتيك بتعمل سويتش بين ال 5 وال 2.4. سو الكنترولر تتحكم بالاكسس بوينتس، تتحكم بالشانلز اللي عم بستخدموهم، بالفريكونسيز. انا فيني احدد من الكنترولر اي فريكونسي بدي استخدم، فيني احدد انه استخدم 2.4 و5 و6 جيجا هرتز. So it also manages the roaming problems. So if you are connected to one access point, then you move to another class. Then once you reach another class, you will receive a stronger signal from the second base station. In this case, what will happen? Automatically, you will connect to the base station number 2 because you are receiving now a stronger signal from base station number 2. You know, you receive signals from all the nearby access points, but where do you connect? Where you connect to the access point which is giving you the stronger signal. So here comes the importance of the controller to manage the roaming problems, management problems, and routing problems. What is the difference between roaming and routing? In routing لما نحكي عن routing يعني الباث، مسار الترافيك من الكنترولر للسويتش للاكسس بوينت للموبايل يوزر. هذا المسار حتى ما يكون في اي راوتنج بالمسار. والرومينج when you roam from one access point to another, and when you connect to base station 1 number 1, when you connect to base station number 2, for sure you can see each base station has a coverage, right? And there is intersection between them. فالcoverage تاعت access point number 2 or base station number 2 it intersects with the coverage of base station number 1. And in addition to that, I need you, not only for exams, for your knowledge, to be familiar with this architecture. Mobile users will connect to base stations or access points. These access points are connected via a switch, through a switch, and the switch is connected to the controller which manages these access points. And to the controller, there is a server connected to it which contains the username and password for users to connect to these access points. For users to connect to our wireless networks, they need to have a valid username and password. Where are these credentials saved? They are saved in the server. So this is the wireless network architecture. You need to be familiar too much with this wireless network architecture. This is basic, but this is the basic connectivity and wireless. And you need to know the wireless network requirements, which is link capacity, security, mobility, and management. And what is the role of wireless controller to manage routing, roaming, and management problems. And you need to know the main advantage of wireless and the issues associated with the wireless networks. So now we will come to another slide which has a relation to structured and unstructured. All the previous slides that you have seen up to now is related to structured network. Why? Because there is centralized entity managing the communication between the two end users. So when we say structured, we mean there is centralized entity managing the communication between the mobile and laptop, for example, between the users. The communication is passing through wireless base station. When mobile user 1 transmits a signal to mobile user 2, the signal is going through the base station. and it is receiving signals from mobile user 2 also through base station. Here this is the structured. When we say unstructured in mobile communication, we focus on the ad hoc networks. So what is unstructured? Both users will be connected to each other directly. So the mobile user is connected to the laptop. So they are connected to each other. It is easy to set up, easy to manage, but the disadvantage is it is not scalable. So you cannot easily increase the number of devices. Here you will face issues. Here it is better to use a structured network. So when you say unstructured, you mean there is no centralized entity managing the communication. Mobile user 1 and mobile user 2 are directly connected to each other, and both are taking the role of transmitter and receiver. Mobile user 1 is transmitting to mobile user 2, mobile user 2 is receiving. Then mobile user 2 is transmitting to mobile user 1, and mobile user 1 is receiving the signal. So we call both as transceiver. They work as a transmitter and receiver at the same time. So both are transceivers. Transceiver. So an ad hoc network, which is unstructured network, it is interesting application, but user requirements are more difficult to answer, or it's not easy. You cannot easily meet the user requirements, especially if the network increases. It's not scalable. So let us continue with the benefits of mobile wireless communications. We mentioned previously in the first slide that the main benefit of network is to share information and share resources, like to exchange emails if you are at work or if you are at home with your friends. You can exchange emails through the email server, and you can print on the print server or store files on the file server. So this is the main benefit of the network. Share information, share resources. You can see here the 5 computers connected to a LAN along with the 3 servers. So all these computers can communicate and share information. Also, we mentioned before that the network is not necessary to be 10 million PCs connected to each other or 10 million routers. No, a network, it can be as simple as a single cable connected to computers, or as a complex as a collection of networks that span the globe, international network. So a network can be 2 computers connected to each other, and it can be uh, a huge number of PCs and switches and routers connected to each other. What is the internet? internet هو network of networks. internet هو network of networks. احفظوا هذا التعريف. الانترنت هو شبكة شبكات. So the network hardware is involved. The components of the network يعني كهاردوير. عندنا الاند يوزر ديفايسز. الاند يوزر ديفايسز بيشمل اي بي فون، سيسكو او افايا اي بي فون او اي نوع من الاي بي فون، بي سي، لابتوب، برينتر، سيرفر، مثل شو كمان الاند يوزر ديفايس، فينجر برينت تيرمينال، scanner, etc. Everything connected to the network. Then we have the media or links. الميديا here لما نقول media يعني medium، يعني transmission medium اللي هو wired or wireless. Wired قد يكون Ethernet اللي هو cat 6 cable copper cable أو fiber cable، أو wireless اللي هن الواي فاي networks بين الاند يوزر والاكسس بوينت. فالميديا or links can be wired or wireless, guided or unguided. والديفايسز قد يكونوا intermediary devices مثل السويتش اللي هو access switch. لما نحكي access switch يعني الاند يوزر devices connected عليه. الاكسس switch connects directly to the end user devices. نحن ما عم نحكي distribution او core switch. الاكسس switch هو اللي بخلي اليوزرز يتصلوا بالشبكه. For sure these are wired users. Or access point if we are speaking about wireless end user devices. بدل الوايرلس end user devices يتصلوا بالاكسس بوينت بالشبكه. وعند الانترنت ورك هون الكور ديفايسز اللي بتتضمن راوترز، كور سويتشز، etc. etc. فالنتورك هاردوير كومبوننتس بتتألف من الميديا اللي هي الميديوم عم نحكي وايرلس او وايرد جايدد اور انجايدد. تتألف من الديفايسز اللي هي الاند يوزر ديفايسز والانترميدياري ديفايسز. طب ترانسميشن ميديا، لما نحكي عن ترانسميشن ميديا في بعض الكونسبتس اللي مطلوب تتعرف. لما اسالكم عن الداتا، what is data? If I ask you on the exam or normally in life, what is data? What you will say? Data, it is an entity that convey meaning or information. It transfers information. It is entities that convey information. طب what is signal? Signal is an electric or electromagnetic representation of data. انتوا بتعرفوا انه السيجنال بالوايرلس كوميونيكيشن حيمرق معنا اكثر بهالكورس هي electromagnetic wave. السيجنال بالوايرلس كوميونيكيشن بين الموبايل ستيشن والبيس ستيشن عباره عن electromagnetic wave، يعني مؤلفه من electric field ومagnetic field. هي electromagnetic wave، وسرعتها سرعة الالكترومagnetic ويف هي بالفاكيوم هي نفس سرعة الضوء، هي 3 times 10 باور 8 متر بير سكند. فسرعة الالكترومagnetic ويف. والسيجنال اللي مرقه بالاثرنت كيبل هي عبارة عن الكترومagnetic ويف. نفس الشيء بالسيجنال اللي مرقه بالفايبر اللي هي الكترومagnetic ويف بس على frequency of visible light. frequency of visible light هذا السبب بنقول الياف ضوئية. طب الترانسميشن، لما نحكي عن ترانسميشن، الترانسميشن لما الاكسس بوينت تعمل بروسيسنج وبروباجيشن، او لما الموبايل ستيشن يعمل بروسيسنج للسيجنال على الموبايل ستيشن ويرجع يعمل بروباجيشن بالهواء بين الموبايل والاكسس بوينت. بروباجيشن، لما نقول بروباجيشن يعني انتقال السيجنال من الموبايل للاكسس بوينت او من الموبايل للبيس ستيشن. فترانسميشن هو الكوميونيكيشن اوف داتا which includes propagation and processing of signals. And transmission medium مثل ما حكينا قبل شوي، transmission medium أو الميديا هو يا إما wireless أو wired، guided أو unguided. لما نقول الوايرلس يعني هي لما electromagnetic waves ينتقلوا it is being transmitted by air from mobile station to access point. اوكي، اللي هو الواي فاي كونكشن. وايرد لما نحكي عن اليو تي بي كيبل اللي هو 6 كيبل او فايبر اوبتيك الضوئيه. فبنعبر نحن عن transmission medium guided because waves are guided along a solid medium copper twisted pair optical fiber او حتى الكواكسيال كيبل اللي يستخدم للتي في او للدش. لما نحكي عن satellite communication نستخدم كواكسيال كيبل للريسيفر او للتي في. او unguided provides means of transmission but does not guide electromagnetic signal. ركزوا على التعريف. provides means of transmission but does not guide electromagnetic wave، يعني بمعنى ثاني وايرلس انه الترانسميشن بس منه guided يعني وايرلس. اوكي، طب we will finalize this lecture today by explaining the network types. انتم بتعرفوا ان network types احجام مش حجم واحد. في عندي البان اللي هو personal area network، مثل اذا عم نحكي عن الزيجبي او شبكه البلوتوث، هي small it covers small area على المساحه الشخصيه. بس البلوتوث يستخدم فقط بامتار قليله، بتقدر تشبك مثلا بين الموبايل وبين اللابتوب او من الموبايل بقلب السياره تشبك بلوتوث. فهذا اكزامبل على البيرسونال اريا نتورك بلوتوث او زيجبي. اكبر شوي بنكون عم نحكي على اللوكال اريا نتورك، مثل لما يكون عندنا انترنت كونكشن بقلب مبنى، انترنت كونكشن نتورك بقلب مبنى بمبنى واحد، هذا اسمه لوكال اريا نتورك، اسمه لوكال. اذا عندنا عده مباني، ست مباني مثل هون بالكليه عندنا اكثر من مبنى وموصولين ببعض بوان لينكس، هون صرنا عم نحكي عن local area networks موصولين ببعض بوان لينكس. فاصغر شيء البان بيرجع اللان بيرجع المان اللي هو المتروبوليتان اريا نتورك على مستوى المدينه. مثل لما نوزع انترنت بالبيرل مثلا، منطقة البيرل، هون بنكون عم نحكي بمان نوزع انترنت او واي ماكس كونكشن بالسيتي، على مستوى السيتي، على مستوى المدينة. هون بنكون عم نحكي عن المان متروبوليتان اريا نتورك. واذا عم نحكي عن وايد اريا نتورك it spans the globe، بنكون موصلين هون هون على بلد تاني، على بلد ثالث، بفايبر كونكشن globally over wide geographical areas. This is owned by an autonomous organization. So الوان هو مجموعة lands أو مجموعة mans. فلما نقول one هو مجموعة it's a group of mans and lands. Wide area network interconnects lands but over wide geographical areas which spans the countries. ولما نحكي عن نتورك تايب مش بس السايز اوف نتورك بان او لان او مان او وان، لا بنحكي عن التكنولوجي. نحكي عن تكنولوجي سيركت سويتش او باكيت سويتش. السيركت سويتش كاكزامبل عليه هو PSTN Public Switch Telephone Network، شبكة التليفونات القديمة. بتعرفوا انتم لما كنتوا تحكوا ايام زمان على التليفون كان يصير في ضغط على الخطوط، ليش؟ لانه في لينك ريزيرفد لك كل ما تعمل استابلش لكونكشن مع صديقك، في لينك خاص ديديكيتد لك ريزيرفد during the call، ما في حدا يستخدمه. وداتا follows the same path، مش انه بصير في segmentation للداتا وكل داتا بتاخذ مسار، لا data follows the same path and you are required a dedicated connection during your call لحد ما تسكر الخط. بينما بالباكيت switching more advanced technology it divides your data your call into packets that can be routed based on their destination address. فإذا أنت عم تحكي مع رفيقك ببلد ثاني، الكول تبعك ما شرط كله ياخذ نفس المسار بنفس الراوتر. اذا انت عم تحكي فويس اوفر اي بي كول، واتساب كول مثلا مع صديقك ببلد ثاني، الكول تبعك لما يتجزأ بباكت ما شرط ياخذ نفس المسار ويطلع من نفس الباث. قد كل باكت تاخذ مسار معين، بيرجعوا بيتجمعوا مع بعض عند الديستنيشن وبيوصلوا لعند صديقك. هذا بالباكيت سويتشنج. فالداتا تاعتك او الكول تبعك بنعمل له سيجمنتيشن انتو باكيتس. كل باكيت لا يشترط انه تاخذ نفس المسار، كل باكيت قد تاخذ مسار مختلف لحد ما يوصلوا كلهم على الديستنيشن ادرس عند صديقك. ما في لينك ريزرفيشن so packets may follow different paths. وهيدا هو بالنسبة لليوم. إن شاء الله بنكفي المحاضرة الثانية. I will stop recording. If you have any questions please about the lecture or about the course please do not hesitate to ask me. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.